So I'm on the homepage for Diffit. When you go to Diffit's initial website, this is what you will see. And there's a bunch of things up at the top, but really we just need this core button at the middle. Teachers start here. So this is the essence of what the tool is. Now I'm already logged in because I've had a Diffit account. However, there would be a green button up at the top saying log in, and then you could just connect it to your Google account, or you could create a separate login depending on what your preferences are and what your the restrictions of your district or school are. Now, what the tool is, in essence, is a way to differentiate specifically reading texts and then also questions for those texts. So this is particularly useful for me because I teach the same class to 3 different levels of learners. So I teach honors, academic, and EL learners, all for the same core course of global issues. So I don't necessarily need to find an article that's different for every course. I can find an article or a video or something that's a resource that is useful for that particular content, and then I can scale it up or scale it down to appropriately match the needs of the learners in that particular class. Now, the two on the right, these 2 tools are pretty straightforward. You can paste the URL of a PDF or YouTube video to get differentiated resources off of those, or you can copy and paste any text directly into it and it will automatically differentiate it from that. Or I do like this feature, especially as a history teacher, you can upload direct PDFs. But one of the most interesting for me personally is this one, and this is the one I want to demonstrate for you guys. So if we take a look at the topic, theme, or question here, I do have, obviously it pulls up the ones that I've looked, and there's one that I want to kind of show you. I think it's really cool how you can do this. So we search, we look at water scarcity as one of the global issues in the class that I teach. And one of the things that I found really interesting is this question here. How is the modern Los Angeles aqueduct similar to the aqueducts of ancient Rome? Now, that's something that we could talk about. That's something that we could explore on our own, but there's not really a resource. Like the New York Times doesn't really have an article, the BBC, the Encyclopedia Britannica. That's not exactly a topic that they've covered, even though that is a topic that we connect in my class as a history and modern issues class combined into one. So Diffit is really nice in the fact that it will create its own text. It will create its own reading resource based on sources that it finds on the internet, and then it will give you those citations. So let's take a look at how this works. All right, we're going to choose the approximate level of I teach 9th grade students, so we're going to put it as 9th grade. Language is English. Now, we're going to stay with that question just because that's a question that, again, I don't think is exactly answerable by if you were to do a Google search. And you'll notice it is currently going through the progress bar loading, where it is writing essentially a resource that I can use in my class. Now, it'll give you some images, and it'll give you some images that you can kind of use if you want to do anything with those. But really what I'm looking for is the resource itself. Now, if you read through this, it's a very interesting read, but for the purposes of this video, I just want to show you the features of Diffit. Now, one of the features is it shows you the sources it's actually citing and where it got the information from, which is very, very crucial in verifying and making sure that you, the teacher, are curating the information that you're providing to your students. It will also give you direct links to all of those sources down below so you can verify it for yourself and kind of make sure everything is in line with what you know as the kind of information expert in your field. It also gives you a summary. It gives you key vocabulary words, and let's say that I think that there's more words than are what actually are in this. I can go in and I can edit which ones I want to include if I don't want them or how I want to organize them. I can also add specific words. So I can say, for example, I really want to define the word pipes. I don't know, just as an example. You can also say, just give me 4 more words than what you have. If you throw that in, it will just generate 4 additional possible challenging words that it thinks might be useful for students based on the reading that it generated before. So it's useful in not only helping you understand the reading, but also understanding the key vocabulary. And then it also generates multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and open-ended prompts based on these. And the same features that we saw with the vocabulary words, we can do with these as well. It'll show you the answers. You can edit the questions so that you can reorganize them or completely delete them altogether. Like, let's say I don't know, we just delete that one and we're going to add different levels. So let's add 2 strategic thinking questions, and just for the purposes of this video, to show you how it actually does it. So now it's extending it out a little bit, and it's asking students a little bit different than just what is going on, what is an aqueduct. Short answer questions, same exact idea. You can edit, you can copy, I can add questions and all that fun stuff. So in this way, I'm able to customize all the features and all of the questions and content that I want available for this particular resource. And when I go to scale if I go to translate into a different grade level, either up or down, it will translate the questions and the answer options as well to match the Lexile score of the particular grade level being targeted. So the last part, now that we have our resources kind of curated, we have our article, our summary, our key vocabulary words, our multiple choice questions, short answer questions, open-ended prompts. Now we go to this part where it says ready to turn your content into student-ready activities. And one of the best Diffit features is with the premium version, which they do offer free for 60 days for all teachers signing up, or they have a monthly subscription coming out for $14.99 a month. They have all of these different formats. It could be a doc, a Google Forms quiz, different types of reading summaries and CER, short answer questions, Frayer model, vocabulary slides. The list just goes on and on and on. Cornell notes. There are so many different things that Diffit's tools can take this informational foundation and turn it into all of these different outputs. So we'll take a hippo analysis workbook as our example, and I think I need to move myself out. If I open it with slides. So this is the resource that Diffit created based on the information that was put into the tool. You can see the cover image and you can see the text that it generated along with the hippo breakdown, the key vocabulary that we input, and it also added those other vocabulary terms to the bottom there. It also has all of the questions and then the open-ended and reflection questions. So this is a very useful tool in saving teachers time and allowing us to be more efficient so we can spend our time on other things. Diffit is really mostly a teacher tool, so the student privacy concerns that would arise with the use of a traditional tool or other tools that are available to them don't really present themselves with Diffit in particular, because again, it's the teacher using the tool and the students using the products created by that tool, not using the tool themselves. And because of that, they're not really sharing any information with the company Diffit themselves. It would just be like the way that I use it in my class is I create something with Diffit and then I put that into Canvas and then my students use Canvas. So there's no extra exposure to student information.